I'm Ngita. This bald man here is my partner, apparently. We've been clients of Amber Wealth for about 5-7 years. We first came across Anthony as a word of mouth from a good friend of ours. I was in a bit of a mess from a financial perspective in terms of my super. Anthony and Amber Wealth helped me sort out something like 20 different super accounts that I had and rolled it all into one. So I was very grateful for that, which obviously meant that tax time was a lot easier. Anthony and Amber Wealth just made the process just so much easier. It was in language we could understand.
True.
Which, which if you're not into money, not into finance and in that kind of language, it can be very daunting to process that kind of information.
And sometimes it's an advantage as well to have someone who can provide you with an intricate knowledge of your own wealth and your own financial opportunities. It makes it a lot easier to convert that to a mortgage opportunity because the knowledge is already there. There's a relationship that's been formed. Mm-hmm. So basically the opportunity for multiple services is just easier. The hard work's already really done.
Yep. So Anthony just helped us sort through all of that, presented lots of different options, made the decision making very easy for us, and then obviously helped us through the process of actually acquiring that loan, for which we're very grateful because obviously we were successful in that. We bought that probably about 4 years ago. We also looked online, a couple of just the online mortgage broker, quick assessments, calculations, or whatever. But we found that those, obviously, every time we filled it in, we kept getting rejected. So obviously, again, that's where Anthony really helped us, being able to understand where all the numbers actually needed to go. Otherwise, if we'd stuck to just looking at those online calculators, we wouldn't be in the position we are.
It can put you off quite dramatically. Definitely.
Without Anthony helping us through that process, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Fine with a lot of other institutions and everything else, it's very much this is the box you fit in and that's it. If you don't fit in that box, it doesn't work. Whereas, it's making multiple boxes fit your predicament. It's probably the best thing that Amber provided me.
So we didn't feel like Anthony presented a cookie cutter solution for us. I think that's probably the most impressive thing that I found when compared to looking at the other mortgage brokers who I felt were just basically pushing a product.
Once you get the first mortgage and you understand that it's not putting you off and it's all intimidating, it's like, it's not really that difficult. Once you're in the system, you understand how it operates, then you can go forward, build upon it, look at getting a bit of equity in your property as the property matures, and maybe setting yourself up to buy a secondary property. And just go forward with it.
The most impressive thing was just taking what we thought was a very challenging and complex process because you are your own business. You're a one-man band, sole trader, low doc, and the challenges we found when we were trying to do the online, when we were trying to look at other brokers, and then the impressive way that Anthony just simplified the whole process for us. I think the biggest change for me is just having the confidence that I have in Anthony to be able to oversee what's happening with my super. I've got a central point of contact, which I never had before, which is really, really good. And just the level of transparency he has with me about where my super is actually being invested. And the fact that we have, yearly catch-ups to talk about it is obviously very, very important and just develops that level of trust that, that I have in Anthony.
That transparency of knowing that if you want to know where your money's invested, you can, contact Anthony and go, is my money position there? And the information's at hand. And it's very
and it's never a hassle for Anthony to answer any of my questions. Even when I do have them, which obviously is quite important, especially in today's market. You need the confidence in somebody to help you, help guide you through that. And for me, that is Anthony.
And it's surprising. You don't need a lot of wealth for Anthony to manage either. It's quite efficient to understand that it's what you do with what you have is what we've learned from Anthony. It's not so much what you have, it's what you can do with what you've got.
Yeah.
And that's quite enlightening to see that.
Most impressive.